Good luck, team.
We'll need it. Thank you. Right, let's get some practice done.
The thing is, I like the smell of coffee, but I don't know. It's too bitter for me.
That's what the milk's for.
Yeah, I hate milk.
Oh my god.
It's
Is that
literally an
anything you
impossible
like?
situation for me.
What, all types of milk? Have you tried almond milk? Other variations than cow milk?
Goat's milk.
Probably not, but whenever I have tried milk, I hated it, so... And I won't even get started about tea, because I hate that even more.
It's
Yeah,
just weird.
Toothy Tops, I don't exactly want to fill all my drinks with this sugar, because it's not that healthy, you know?
Yeah, I know the principle, Supernova, and I hate Virginia Oak Tree Corner as well. We'll see.
And run to what, E-Storm?
Coffee.
Ugh. So I'd be mixing something I really like with something I don't like. So it will just be average at best. Vroom, you know me. I'm always optimistic. I do occasionally drink rum and coke, but not often, because again, sugar.
Have Diet Coke, dude.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah, but you do badminton now, Alex, so you shouldn't have to worry about your sugar.
Lol.
That's
Actually,
how it
what
works.
livery are we using, Paul?
Right now, I've just set it to the one I've currently got because nobody gave an opinions on things.
I gave
And
an
we never
opinion.
decided.
I wanted the
No,
Lego
you
one.
posted one. I posted like 7 and nobody said anything.
I wanted the Lego one. Just saying.
There's no input from you guys, so I just left it.
I wanted the Iron Lynx or Iron Dames one.
And I wanted the Lego one.
You see? So there was no decision, so I left
Chat,
it.
this is how Paul is. He just never listens to his moderators.
No, you all said
It's us
different
for not
things,
giving in.
and you didn't comment on anything I posted. You just ignored it, so I left it.
Let's do the Lego card then. And I've spun in turn 1. Yay! Let chat choose a livery? Absolutely not.
No.
Sean will be driving an Iron Brew livery on every single
won't.
car.
Why's my cube control software not fired up? Oh, I remember. It's because I restarted my PC.
I appreciate it, Banks. At least someone is positive towards me, Sean.
I'm always positive. Oh no!
Do you still feel great, Pups Squirrel?
I'm always positive, he says, before he hears the Christmas sounds.
Hey, I'm in a good mood, and you guys are not gonna ruin my mood.
Well, it's kind of like an ultimatum. Are they gonna improve my mood or are they gonna destroy yours?
No. Right, so I'll switch it to Lego later then.
Yes!
And then we can just look like the true 5-year-olds on the track that we're...
No, because if we lose our rear bumper, we can just put it back on easily.
Because it's a replacement block.
Exactly.
Nice and aerodynamic Lego, isn't it?
No need for screws or bolts or anything. Paul's face on the bonnet. Even more reason to crash into a wall.
And you won't even be trying.
Improvement, lads. This time I spun in turn 2.
You're getting there, Alex.
Oh,
And how many laps have you done?
this is my second.
Oh, we're off to a great start.
Have you tried electric go-karts IRL? No, but I can imagine they're bonkers fun. Main Puritan, thank you, 41. Oh, that was an off track. Scumbag game. What do you mean, Pug? Do you mean like sim or
Talking
IRL?
Talking about off track, that's going to be fun as well today.
Just another one of the many ways in which we can die.
There's always a Rebel Ring 6 hours.
That's one way dying. It's pretty unforgiving, this track. Place your tyre in the wrong place and you're done.
This track is entirely unforgiving.
Have you guys registered as a driver yet?
Yeah, I've been doing laps in it.
Oh, you're already in the race session?
Yeah, there is 336 teams
That was the R130 bit I was talking
with
about.
476 drivers.
Excuse me. Stevie Noises, thank you for 9 months. Tremendously good luck. We'll need tremendous amounts of it. I would have said, did you stop for a cuppa, Alex, but you don't like tea.
Don't know what you're on about. Nothing happens.
That reminds me, I forgot to put the brake bias forward. I like it on 0.5. No, single PC. I stopped using dual a few years ago. Meh. Completely, totally messed my exit up then.
Yep.
I knew that was going to happen. I saw it coming. I was like, my back wheel is going to hit that bit of sand and I'm done. It's like being on the M6 with you. A little lane changer. How do you think too wide into spoon's going to work out?
Not
I
very
just saw
well.
you almost taking me out, so I had to go onto the grass.
I thought you had loads of room, so I just, yeah, nick the middle bit. 4.5 seconds slowdown. Wow.
Oh, that's bad my steering. Come on, Paul.
I'm going to watch this back. Let's do a far chase. To be fair, I was squeezing you quite a bit. I thought,
Yes.
yeah, I thought you had more room than that on the right.
No, I didn't. And I saw you coming closer to me, so I turned right and I ended up on the grass. And that kind of just spit me out back into you, basically.
Yeah.
But then what happens next is just 100% your fault. Like, no reason for you to hit me like that.
Yeah, you definitely didn't drive into me on the inside there.
No. I would never.
Hey, Wazbank. Yeah, I play a few games, mate.
Mate, that 410 teams are registered now.
Here's the thing,
Kamikaze,
Sean. I don't car.
Lol. I wish I was good enough to be an Iron Lynx rider, Kamikaze.
GT3 cars. I think what I need to do is drive at like 90-95%, and then I'm not touching any bits of off track, as in just not
Yeah.
completely go for it. Fat man, it's because the brakes are cold at the moment. That's the way the game tells you that your brakes are cold. Don't know why I just went down to third. I think it's because I was thinking about crew chief and whether I should run it or not. Captain William, I will let you know tomorrow when I know. No idea. I think those two guys who came out the pits took each other out. They just both disappeared. They were behind me and then went. Oh no, oh there it goes. That's the bit to avoid. Can I show you Kuznets race it? You mean like that? Is that what you mean, Benno? I finished the rig tour video filming last week, guys, and the video's done one cut of it. I'm just going to add a few more bits that I'd taken. I forgot I'd taken some stuff on my phone back when I was building the rig, so I'm going to drop those bits in. But the video's almost done. So yeah, you get a tour of like how I built the rig and stuff, and how I swap it from racing to flying. I don't really go over the equipment in detail. It's more like how I built the rig. Give it 11 months max. 22 from Jaguar. I'm not sure what you mean by mixed reality, Supernova. What do you mean by that? Death Row, thank you for 8 months. Trouble is, I have to find another camera. Or buy another camera and then mount it. And also, the problem with the over-shoulder view for me is it would either be on my right side, and therefore you'd have the microphone arm in the way, or it'd be on my left side, and then it would get in the way of me getting in and out of the rig. So it's kind of a tricky one. Thank you, Crawley. 51 months. Not bad, Skull. Thank you, mate. Feel the track getting warmer, the back end's getting a bit loose now. Slippy, slidey. I reckon the track will get up to like mid 40s or something, maybe high 40s.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we practice for all that. No, it works, Gampler. When the track gets hotter, it becomes more slidey. And it destroys the tyres quicker. Just doesn't want to turn now. I give it a half a year, Sutton. Yeah, I think it'll be Wreckers this weekend. Not sure about the whole Checkers thing. single class. Same gaming nerd. Thank you for 5 months. Yeah, we'll need all the luck we can get. If you're racing, have a good one. Rather unconventional line through there. I got 21 X's so far.
It's looking good, isn't it?
Seriously, if we don't spin out or get involved in a collision with other cars, we'll just get 1x to death. How's it going for you boys?
Interesting question you've got there, Paul.
So basically, all three of us are really struggling, and then we're about to jump into a 10-hour race, right?
But on positive news, I'm feeling great.
I think Alex is going first, even though he doesn't want to. Then me, then Pups again.
Emphasis on don't want to.
Like I said, just start from the pit lane, man. By the time you get out the pit lane, carnage on that one will be over with.
And we'll already be a minute behind.
I think it's about time to join the actual race session.
Yeah.
Look, that's another rough track, Paul.
It's right, because I think they've changed the incidents as well, because on the info in the race session, it says incident count penalties none.
Yeah, because that's because you're in a practice session.
Oh. Surely it should say the race information.
No, because you're in a practice session. It's iRacing.
That's true. Good point.
Don't expect the logical thing.
Okay, fair point, Alex.
I can't wait till they add rain at Suzuka.
Oh, did you have to make it worse?
Well, now you can look at the bright side. It's not raining.
It will cool the track down as well. Just saying.
Designed
My
by noted
iRacing UI
circuit
seems to have
architect
frozen.
John Hergenholtz, who also did the original Zandvoort. Suzuka opened in 1962.
I was going to say, that's a Dutch guy, I believe.
Yeah, you've got a Dutch guy to blame for this track.
Hey, the track is good. I'm just not good at the track.
It's not good. It sucks.
It is. It's an amazing track.
Well, whoever ported it to iRacing put the boxes in the wrong place.
Lol. And just as I open Task Manager to kill the iRacing UI, it unfreezes. It's like it could sense its death coming.
It's amazing how things respond when you hold a shotgun to the head.
I know, right?
Vin, or is it Vin or VLN? No, it's Vin. Thank you, 57. Donut, thank you for 4 years, dude. Death Row Techno with 8 months. I'm just trying to figure out if I missed anybody. Jaguar, 22. Joe Rabbit with 30 months. I don't think I missed anyone. Could be wrong. $662 teams, 1,175 drivers. That's going to make for some very close splits, actually.
Yeah, and our average I rating is around 2,000, so we won't even be in the lowest split, I don't think.
I blame you two for that one. Try hard in an iRacing all the time.
Says the one that intentionally crashed out of his Sebring race so he could play
I
Hunt.
didn't intentionally crash out. I accidentally...
Oh, so you were legit just bad.
Yeah, I was legit just bad, Alex.
Fair enough.
So 30 minutes of practice. Who's practicing?
Wow. Any takers?
Well, I'll probably need to do at least 1 or 2 qualifying laps.
Yeah, Alex, you go ahead.
Hawk, thank you for a year. Happy anniversary.
Oh, don't forget the Lego livery, Paul.
Thank you, Brew Hits. Thank you for 62 months. Oh, yeah. Launch Trading Paints website.
I'll give everyone betting today. Just bet for Crash.
Let me find the Lego one. There it is.
Hamilton is in this session.
No.
Okay, Lego selected. You are now racing Lego car. Should be good for blocking, question mark.
Time to kill trading paints and relaunch it.
Just Shift R usually works. It depends. Sometimes it works. Are you out on the track, Alex?
I am indeed.
See if it puts it back.
Also, remember, Paul, if you want your sounds and your dashboard on your wheel to line up, you need to click Start Spotting.
Yeah. No, not yet, Scotty. I've got to do that. Yeah, I've just got to figure out the cameras and stuff for that one. I just started crew chief, but I've not clicked on start yet because I won't be driving. Trading paints is
Qualifying will
downloading
start in
stuff.
27 minutes.
I don't have a Squirrel livery for the 488 Evo. Sim Cooper occasionally. I haven't played Skylines for a while though. It's going to be a while. Currently downloading the liveries and trading paints. It's going to take forever.
It always does on a big event.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand. Like, all it has to do is do a date check on it. Like, timestamp check the one I've got with the one on the server and don't download it.
Yeah, but it's not just downloading yours, it's also downloading everyone else's.
Well, it is, though. Surely it must have stuff cached on my machine.
It does, yes.
But there's an option to let it remove all files when you close either iRacing or Trading Paints.
Is there really? Where's that option?
Somewhere in Trading Paints itself, like in the application itself.
Click Advanced Options. It's
Clean
like a
up
drop
downloaded
down.
files when I exit. No, don't do that. Oh, show output from activity gives me loads of information. Keep my paints synced from the website. Tick. That sounds like an option everybody should have. Oh, I clicked save. Unhandled exception. Rip. Bye.
Lol.
Doesn't like having my options changed while it's downloading. Yeah, I think if you don't download, don't clean up, then you keep stuff cached on your machine, just takes up a better hard drive space.
Yep.
But it means the whole thing's going to work quicker.
Although to be fair, if you're racing with a lot of people you've never raced with before, it still needs to download everything.
Yeah. But if they're using more common paints, you'll already have them.
Actually, no, because this saved on a car by car or a player by player basis.
What? Surely it just...
So even if someone uses the same livery, it's saved as like your iRacing customer ID.tga.
Oh, that's stupid, man.
Alright, 130R is not flat.
And you went on the bit of danger. Is that a shortcut? Pit entry!
Quickest time ever incoming. 157.9.
That's just how people do it, right?
I wanted to lock the brakes, but then I remembered ABS. Right, do you want to join the other session or?
Might as well.
Wait, John, what? Oh, go in the race session.
Yeah, qualifying starts in 23 minutes.
Okay. Is this what iRacing re-downloads the entire track again?
Yep.
Yep.
I bet it's changed a lot since the practice session. Those polygons have moved around a little bit. I thank you all.
Be right back.
Nice.
Do you reckon he's still got his headphones on, Pubs?
I haven't
Yes,
even
it's
gotten
on
out
it.
of my rig yet.
Even if he did get out of his rig, yes, he would have still had his headphones on. Because he likes spying on us, Paul, and hearing what we say.
He's paranoid, isn't he? He thinks we're talking about him every time he leaves the room. Bandita, thank you, 52
We
months.
would never do anything like that, though, Paul.
She's that Alex guy. He's very...
So annoying, isn't he?
He is, and he's really Dutch.
Yeah.
He likes orange. I mean, who likes orange?
I know. Did you see that wheel design he came up with, Paul? It was just like the sun in your face.
Yeah, it was like, is this too orange? And we're all like, yeah, that's too orange.
He just has no class.
Brocard, thank you for 66. Spec up to 4 months. And Cat Wheels 75. Hawk with 12. Thank you very much, guys. Mr. Kalia with half a year. Have fun. That's if I get to drive.
It's a big if at this point, Paul.
Yeah.
Hands down, this is the worst prepared we've ever been for a race.
Yeah. It really is. And it's not helped that I've been ill through most of the run up to this race. Which has meant I've just not even practiced. But hey ho. You didn't hear that, did you?
I did, because luckily, Paul, I have the stream on.
I forgot to press the button. I just blew my nose, forgot to press the button. But yeah, I was ill through
Yeah, I remember.
all the way up till like Tuesday, Wednesday this week.
I believe in you all.
Thank you, Valencia. I don't.
Look on the bright side, though, Paul. If Alex crashes out, you don't lose anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the best we can do is just
Try and keep it on the track.
just drive at 90-95% and try not to spin out. And if somebody else hits us, so be it, right? the worst accidents are the ones that you cause yourself, you know,
Yep.
because like you can't blame anybody else for that. Strength of field 2.1, rip.
What 17 do you know that drives like Miss Daisy? There is a reason car insurance is so high for younger people.
It's already 31 Celsius, just saying.
I think that's the lowest I've ever seen it, Paul.
Well, by the time the race kicks off, it'll be 32, 33 at least.
Oh.
It's still downloading paints. What is it doing?
No idea.
All files are up to date, it says. Is he coming back anytime soon? Shall I just do a couple of laps?
Just go for it, Paul. Just remember to put the setup on. He's just gone to find some class. That's all it is.
Gone to find his pace. He's looking. He's looking in every cupboard right now for pace. Watch, I'll cross the line here. I'm back.
And then he'll start moaning about what we've said, Paul.
Trying to get out of the way of this guy so I don't completely wreck his lap. That's pretty off track.
Yes, it does react to bumps.
Yeah, you feel a lot of the track through the wheel.
And out of us three, Paul feels the most because he's got a direct drive win.
I feel the most because I'm more emotional.
You're emotionally attached to the track.
It's a bad idea. Yeah, we're training for bad ideas, exactly. My God, there's a lot of cars around. Thank you, sir. Spinny, spinny.
What was that? We need total concentration.
Concentration face is on.
Concentration face.
How did
He spelled it like that. Concentration face, I love it.
I reckon he's laid down on his bed, Paul, and fallen asleep.
I wish.
He's back! Hey!
Wait, what? I just did the exact same time as my previous lap. Exactly.
Yep.
Don't think I've ever done that before. Yay, we got the Lego livery, boys.
Paul, have you noticed how like the Lego body lines up perfectly with the driver's head inside the cockpit? It's amazing.
Yeah. It's all yours, Alex.
Did you find any pace when you was away, Alex?
Nope.
You should try the dry. I can't say it.
Concentration?
Hey, if we're gonna crash out, we're gonna crash out laughing, lads.
Yep. Sorry.
And on that note, I need a cup of tea, so I'll be up, B.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, cup of tea.
Thank you for 61 months, Matt, man. And a bullseye 50 from Christian. Thank you, sir. Neil Kodar, 66. Look, the super serious Lego. What the heck's that guy doing? Dude. What on earth is that guy doing?
What guy?
Oh. Sorry, I wasn't live. When you came out the pits, the guy that tried to drive into you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just love that Lego livery. On the door is a Lego body, and then if you look at it side on, the head of the driver lines up. It's so funny. You can see it like now. Yep. Kentucky Fried Movie. Sadly, I can't get like most of the quotes from Kentucky Fried Movie because they're not PG. Well, we've got 10 minutes left of practice and then it'll be qualified in the race. Jesse, thank you for 200, 200 bits. Is that Jess or Jesse? I don't know. Jesse J. Jesse J is probably it. Manscapper, yeah, the initial cars that you get are free, but you don't get many, and then generally you decide what class of racing you want to do and you buy the car that you want to race. And generally speaking, you'll have to buy some tracks as well on top of your subscription. Which one, Chubbs? The Kentucky Fried Movie? Oh, it's an absolute classic. I mean, I used to watch that many years ago. And it's just, like, they don't make things like that anymore. People would be too offended. But it's just hilarious. It's very not PG, though. There you go, Alex. Told you had the pace.
Let's see if I can keep it up.
Yes, indeed, Metallic Punk. Back in the days when you can actually laugh at stuff.
I'm up.
Welcome back, Nutter. I wish they'd re-release it, Club Villain. I don't care if people are offended. Just release it anyway. That's the whole point of comedy. You can poke fun at things. Uh-oh. I thought it was all over the grass then. Wait, how's he got enough fuel for a third lap? Blazing Saddles. I don't know, if you watch Blazing Saddles, then watch Kentucky Fried Movie. I think you'll find Kentucky goes a bit further. I was wondering how you had enough fuel for a third lap.
I didn't.
This is your 5-minute warning.
You want to do a few laps, Sean?
Sure.
You have to take the handbrake off, mate.
It's doing the driver swap.
Let go, pups.
I see what you did there, Paul.
Huh?
I see what you did there.
What happened to my summer car? I think he's still updating it. He's not finished it yet. I think he's working on my winter car. I think he was supposed to end my summer car last year, end of last year. And here we are. Because I think he's been working on winter car all year. This replay is a bit weird.
Did you click start spotting?
Yeah, I did. I am spotting.
Then I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's like super... Like car jerks around and stuff. It was the same with Alex. Unless you're just steering in a very random way.
No, I think it's the few you're on, Paul, in replay mode's a bit buggy.
That's what I like about patches. More new bugs. I don't know yet, Southlander. Maybe, maybe not. Like if you look at the views on the landlord's videos, they really tapered off, you know, which implies to me there's not that much interest in it. I think the problem with that game is a lot of it's very kind of British setting. It's like a British humour thing. Found the My Summer car hit by a bus celebrating your rally win was hilarious. You should have seen some of the stuff we did on the stream. There was one point where there was a rally going on, and I was going around down near where the mechanic is, and I was knocking people out. I was like punching people out and then dragging their body onto the road, and I was placing them in such a way that when the rally cars came, they were hitting the bodies, and they'd just go flying, spin upside down, land in the ditch. Like, it was hilarious.
I remember that.
I was having so much fun doing that. One minute. Fireworks at Timo's, yeah. Just got the fireworks thing and just put hundreds of fireworks in Timo's shop and then set fire to one and just watched the frame rate tank. There's just like 100 fireworks going off. Whereas nowadays, you get fined a lot of money because if you break the window, which you will, and you probably break the window on the shop next door, the cafe, and they'll charge you for that. And the worst thing about that game is the whole prison thing. Going to prison in that game is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Time remaining is now 0. Although it went to 0, then went back to 8, and then carried on counting down to 0 again. So that's interesting.
Oh.
And now it's on 1, and then it's gone to 0 again. So
What's that other... I can't... There was a game you played, Paul. It was like a puzzle game.
Quality.
I really hope they update that soon.
Do you mean Teardown?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, they have updated it. They've got more stuff in it.
Good luck, Alex.
Get some heat in the brakes, and then just do a solid lap, and then push it.
Push it real good.
Ba, 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 ba. Ooh, baby, baby. Yeah, I'll probably get a DMCA for that.
Does it say anything about incident limit in the info tab, by the way?
Yeah, 40, then every 20 afterwards.
So it hasn't changed.
Incident count penalties 40x, then every 20.
I think instead of letting people bet, we need to add a prediction on how long it's going to take for us to hit the 40 incident limit.
How many laps we last would be a better bet.
There's such a massive spread in our rating as well. Like, there's a 1.6k guy, but also a 2.7.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Good luck. Keep it clean. Try and get a solid lap in. Qualifier lap number 1. I don't know, Vinny. I honestly don't know. I mean, like 40x on this track is... it's not like I can get 20x with one tank, you know? It's pretty brutal. I knew that was coming. I saw it go to the grass. That's the first lap
What'd
done.
you say about a solid lap?
Yeah, I think you were pushing it a little too much.
Nope.
Just,
I genuinely wasn't pushing.
okay. Well, just
just-
settle down.
I just got onto the grass a little bit and that's it.
Yeah. It's fine. 40 modding, thank you for 19 months. Yeah, we could be starting in the pits. He is pushing the car like dangerously close to the white line all the time. What is that team name? Intellectual Velocity. Carbon and... what? Carbon and Ch. What kind of a team name's that? Intellectual Velocity? The problem with not getting your first lap in is it puts pressure on you for your second lap, you know? Pony Express 2. I like that team name. 3 silly little blokes. That sounds like us. Battle Cattle, thank you for tier 3, dude. 79 months, thank you. Oh, I told you guys in Discord, didn't I? I've got our artists working on some more, well, festive versions of our emotes. So like half a dozen festive versions of our current emotes so that we can use them in December. And she sent through the sketches for my approval and looking pretty good. So she's currently working on them right now. So when we get to December, we'll have some, we'll swap out some of the emotes for festive versions. Just one of the animated ones is going to go festive, Moorcroft, because they obviously cost more. But yeah. Just for a bit of fun in December, you know. I'm just looking at these team names. Is that Glock in my Rari? It's proper weird. That looked like a clean lap. So that's A time, I think. GG, dude. We're on the board. Woo!
GG.
Ooh. Oh, we're not even dead lost for now.
Right, swap the setup to the
Oh.
normal race one. Yeah, I was just looking at these team names and some of them are very strange. Well, Bigfoot, I could swap. I don't have them yet anyway, but by the time I get them, it'll probably be in a week or two, I guess. I don't know. I'm always worried about doing the whole Christmas thing. Maybe I might go for
Some
like...
of them are even too long for the entries tab.
I might go for like 25th of November, and then we got like a whole month of it. Maybe do it that way. But I'm not going to eat into too much December with festive stuff. Yeah, the intellectual velocity, carbon, and ch. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. R/WEC junction impact into the wall with 1L.
Impact into the wall. I got that right.
I like the, what's it called? The 3 silly little blokes. It just sounds like us.
Yep.
Turn 7 Racing Gold. Why is the gold team in here?
Yeah, that's too far forward to start from the pits, isn't it?
Whatever you want to do, dude.
It's up to you, man. Like, just play it safe, whatever.
If you don't feel comfortable, go from the pits. It's entirely up to you. Bigfoot, thank you, 35 months.
What is chat saying? So we
Well,
should always listen to chat.
there's a lot of bet finish and bet crash going on right now. Nobody's bet top 5 or P1. I'm really depressed.
I wonder
about
why that could be.
Yeah, it's a single class race. If you want to bet your schmackos, and frankly, I don't think you
To be
should.
fair,
But if
I
you want to,
just
do
grew
it
up,
now.
there's a bigger chance we'll be playing Raft in about 10 minutes.
What are you doing, pit or grid?
I saw that. Gridding.
Here we go. So I've got the mechanics ready, Alex.
Well, I know what THLF Esports is. Team Happy Life Factory Esports. And to your left, if you want to look to your left, Alex, you see a very rainbow livery going on.
Yeah.
With what looks like a unicorn and rainbow colours and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very bright rims as well.
Yeah.
Isn't that unicorn dabbing?
I think so, yes.
Look at the grill colours as well.
That's a very special livery. It looks like the Germans as well by the flags on top.
Ah, that explains it. It's proven by Baz all Germans are weird.
That is German, or it's not Belgium, is it? It's black, red, then yellow. Black, red, then gold. Is that German or Belgium? I don't know.
Well, it's not French.
Lol, Chris. Exclamation mark. Bet crashed by the first corner.
Normally I'd say thanks for the confidence, but this time I'll just say thanks for the realism.
Good luck, Alex.
Thanks.
Let go, Alex.
I see what you did there, Paul.
I've already set the brake bias to 0.5, by the way. Because I personally didn't feel much difference, but if you're more comfortable.
There's quite a mix of manufacturers around you as well.
I'm surprised there's a Ford ahead of us.
I didn't see any Fords in practice. There we go. 10 minutes of Suzuka. Yeah, I bet it through T1. That's pretty scary. Oh. Yikes. Can't see if we've got any damage. It's left wheel arch cosmetic though, isn't there? Nothing down on the spoiler.
Yeah, the splitter looks okay.
Did I hit the guy that was facing back?
Yeah. You've just got cosmetic damage on your wheel arch. Splitter and everything's intact.
Alright.
It's fine. Just settle into rhythm and avoid trouble for now. Yikes. Oh, boy.
Thanks, mate. Lovely.
We need indicators. Like, nobody knew that I was going to dive into the pits. That's just cost
don't
us
make
time.
it 3 wide, please. Whatever.
Just let him go, bro. Let him go. It's fine. It's early in a 10-hour race.
Oh, a
Sure,
Merc.
go for it.
Oh, another Merc.
Settle in, then go for it. Let them all crash out. I can't believe somebody's driving the Merc. That's crazy.
2 someones.
To be fair, if they want to finish the race, that's probably the best car to do it because it's the slowest.
You're very much on the grass then, Alex.
Where?
On the right, on the left turn, when you went outside before the climb. You kicked up grass, so just be careful. We lost quite a few places, mostly down to that guy diving in the pit, you know? It's like the worst place because then they've got momentum down the straight and you don't. But it's 10 hours, right? So whatever. You take it in turns, Dora. Different drivers. Like, I'm not driving right now. But when you're in the car, you know, you can't go to the toilet then. Generally, you go to the toilet before you stint. I mean, we did Le Mans 24 in July. That was interesting.
I was so happy with that 24-hour race.
Oh, yeah. I mean, finishing was our goal. When we finished P3, it was brilliant. I wish you wouldn't go so close to the grass, though. Freaks me out. Have I heard Skyrim's been ported to a board game? I don't think you can port a game to a board, can you? You can make a board game version of a game, but you can't really port it. You know what I mean? Porting basically means taking the code and changing it to work on a different platform. But I take your point. No, I hadn't. I wonder how that would work. I wonder what kind of board game it is. Don't know, Smithy. I don't think we'll do the Bathurst 24 now. Probably looking at maybe Daytona 24.
As far as I'm aware, it was only a 12-hour, not a 24.
Sebring 12. Hey, Langus, I'm good.
The truck I hate, Alex.
Oh, Bathurst.
Yeah, it's only a 12-hour,
12
right?
hours, yeah.
It is an oval, but they have a bit that comes in. Never in. There's like a road section in the middle. So they combo it. They have like a section of road and then a bit of oval and back into the road. Yeah, you do, English. I knew that guy was going to go. His back end has looked so sloppy.
And he turned too far right for the hairpin.
Yeah, you have to change tires. Like, they get destroyed. It's a bit like Silverstone, this track, in that it's has a lot of fast bends that wear the tires down, especially when it gets hot. And the temperature's going to hit high 40s, I think, on the track. Because despite it being November, for some reason they set this in July or something in the game. Probably to get more daylight, I think. I'd be surprised if the Mercs last. They are a bit unstable. Are we going to double stint the tyres? I don't think we are. Well, the thing is, Pug, it's already, for us, we're already struggling at this track. So if we don't change tyres, you know, the chances of spinning gets much, much higher. So if we change tyres, it's going to cost us like 30 seconds extra on top of the fuel. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. And there he goes. We called that one as well. Sorry, Cowley, mate. Thank you for 72 months, sir. That's an anniversary. Good luck, NRT. We need all the luck we can get. But thank you, Cowley. I do apologise. I did miss that one. Are we changing driver after each tank?
Sure.
I would, just to be on the safe side.
So, because of that, we can change tyres as well.
Yeah. Well, Alex posted these results, and after like one stint, his tyres were on 60%.
Yeah. I'm guessing there'll be drivers out there who double stint the tyres, right?
Probably, but good luck to them.
You're 10 minutes into a 10-hour race. Why are you already weaving like that?
Looks like there's only one team out of the race so far.
And 3 cars in the pits.
If you like this game, don't drive.
Yeah, one of which
don't
decided
have
to go right in front of me.
Yep.
That's true of any game on Twitch. You don't have to play it, you just watch. There will, Captain Flint. There'll be a lot of 1Xs though, like a million 1Xs that it'll go through on the incident cam. Exactly, Bigfoot. Exactly, mate. Bigfoot hustles. I want. Jesse J, why is your team not called the Hairy Nutters? They're not that hairy.
Pretty sure someone just did it.
Yeah, could be.
I think I could hear the pit bell thing.
A new nut, Jesse J. Nice. Annoyingly as well, it's a clear day, so the track's going to get hot. Like sometimes at Suzuka it's cloudy and that really helps.
Yeah.
Are they added when they bring rain in? I'm sure they're adding dynamic weather as well, aren't they?
I believe so, yes.
What progression did you take to get to this point? I'm not entirely sure what that question means. If you mean the kind of cars I was driving, it was mostly GTE stuff, quite a bit, and then some LMP on the side. I think in the early days when you have to do Skip Barber, I was doing that, but I never liked Skip Barber. As soon as I could, I just went onto the GT stuff. Hey, Kelly. You hear people singing the praise of Skippy. Put it this way, Skippies are like karts in that you have to preserve momentum. So when you're learning to race, that's the hardest thing anyway. So you find it really difficult being quick. Because if you come out of a corner badly, it's very hard to get up to speed in a Skippy. So your mistakes are punished quite a lot. And being a kind of open wheeler that they are, if you take a ding on the wheel, chances are your wheel's going to go flying. And then you're out the race. So, But at least at that point, you've got fast repairs and stuff. Well,
Rejoining
yes,
without a care for the world.
yes and no, Supernova. Most people tend to just do Skippies and with a view of getting past them. They don't really pay attention to them. Tom LX, thank you for 84 months. This race is far too clean. Just wait till I get in though.
Or me.
Yeah, when you join Pops, I'm going to fire up Raft, okay?
I would, Paul. Better to be safe than sorry.
Is it possible to mix setup? Can you connect your G27 shifter to your G29 wheel? No. I think somebody made, for the G27 shifter, somebody made a USB adapter for it. Whether they still make them, given that the wheel's not been made for a few years, I don't know. But you used to be able to buy a USB adapter for the G27 shifter, but it will not plug into a G29. Unless somebody's now made an adapter for that, which, have a Google. Yeah, I think there was a problem with the buttons not working. Generally speaking, it's not worth... Although the G27 shifter's good, it used to come with the G27 and it was a good shifter. Trying to keep it going when you're not using the G27 wheel arguably starts to become a bit pointless, and you might as well just go and change your shifter. Because the G29 shifter is just a toy, basically. And if you're doing iRacing, you probably won't use a shifter that much anyway. Depends on what you're doing, obviously. Oh, my sinuses are still broken from that cold. G29 shifter costs $30 on discount. I personally wouldn't bother with it. I'd just get, if you're going to get a G29, get it without the shifter and spend money on a decent shifter. If you're going to use one. Like, if you're going to go trucking, you might want to do it. But a lot of people drive it in automatic and don't bother. Oh, Pontarino. I thought that guy was going to go sideways then.
Yep.
He's going for it. Into spoon, down the inside. Hooey! I reckon those cars up front will have a collision soon. Get off the grass, Alex. $5X is nothing, Smithy. I'll get $5X in 5 laps, you watch. You don't seem to do much racing anymore. Huh? We're literally racing now. Who gave you the cold? I don't know. How can you ever tell who gave you a cold? Except I will say this. My daughter came to our house and spent the day here and said, I'm full of a cold. And she was full of a cold. And then 2 days later, I had a cold. I'm not pointing fingers, but clearly my daughter gave me a cold. So you've got her to thank for that. It is, Ibanez. It really is. I've had it now for about 10 days. It took 5 days were pretty bad. And the worst of it was coughing through the night and not being able to sleep. That was horrendous. But now it's just messed up my sinuses and I still don't feel right. Funnily enough, last year in lockdown, last winter, I didn't get a single cold or flu. Because it's weird. You always get germs from other people. So who is patient zero? That's the question. Carl Downs, thank you for 59 months. Got a silly question. You be playing FS21? Do you mean FS22? Wait, did they call it 21 or 22? Did they call Farm Sim 21 or 22? You got me wondering now. I thought they called it 22. Yeah, I thought so.
I do think the damage is kind of affecting our top speed.
I don't know. Well, when it comes in, we'll see what the optionals are.
Yeah.
It might be just knocking off a little bit, yeah. Any thoughts on the new Intel CPUs? I mean, I've seen some reviews of them. They're obviously responding to challenges in the market. I think it's a funny thing, isn't it? But you used to laugh at AMD running hot, and now it's Intel running hot. I think they're doing what they can. They've obviously gone for a similar approach to what Apple do with their chips, in that they put efficiency cores in there as well as like full speed cores, and that's ultimately a good decision all round. AMD, I would imagine, right now with their new architecture, AMD will stomp all over it when they come out with theirs. I think Intel have moved up a gear, but I think AMD will trump them again pretty soon. So we'll see.
I agree with that statement, Paul.
We know that AMD's working on new stuff, and I think they'll move the game ahead.
That AMD's new stuff with their new architecture is going to beat Intel again.
Oh, freebie!
Yeah, but it's a lapped car.
I know, but it feels good, man. No, DDR5 is not as important right now, arguably.
The difference between the two companies is AMD invested, Intel didn't.
Exactly, Intel is just kind of catching up, and I think AMD will just go ahead again. You know, Intel is probably playing...
One is called Intel and the other is called AMD.
Intel's probably playing a 5-year game now, because first of all, they've got to catch up. Then they've got to have something in the pipeline that will reap dividends in 4 or 5 years' time. They're building a new fabrication plant down in Texas, I believe.
Size sockets, you mean?
That's like a multi-billion-dollar fabrication plant. So, if you put if we assume they've got some new designs, like revolutionary design going, and they've got a new fab plant, in 4 or 5 years' time, you'll probably see Intel really attacking AMD again. But I think for the next few years, I think AMD will keep pushing ahead of Intel. It's good, though. I mean, at the end of the day, it's competition between the two, and it's pushing them both, and it's brilliant. It's good for us. Because you know, their 12th gen CPUs, their price point is bang on with AMD, right? If AMD was not competing with Intel, that $600 CPU, they'd be charging $900 for it. That's what they'll be doing. So ultimately, it keeps Intel in check. No, I've not, Captain William. It's Apple that's killing it. I know they don't make gaming PCs, but Apple Silicon is just streets ahead, you know? Yeah, but here's the thing, Moorcroft. If Microsoft wanted to, they could very easily port their scheduler back onto Windows 10. But we all know that they're not going to do it because they want you to upgrade to Windows 11. So it's one of those features that they could port back to Windows 10, but they won't because it's just a kernel update at the end of the day. Uh-oh. That rejoined. That rejoined. That rejoined. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm really scared. I'm very scared. Oh my god.
Idiot. Absolute idiot.
I was watching that all the way into Spoon
Yeah.
thinking this is going to be interesting. I really don't want Nvidia to buy ARM, Venox. I really, really don't want that. Like, Nvidia is not a company that I want to be owning ARM. I think it will be bad for everybody if they do. Yeah, I really do hope, Dave, that they, and hi, by the way, I really hope that they are not allowed to buy ARM. But I have no doubt Nvidia will be throwing all kinds of money around trying to get it through.
No more Croft, it got put on hold.
What, your growth spurt?
That got put on hold about 6 years ago, Alan.
When he was 6, you mean?
Exactly. I've been this hype for most of my life.
Well, Bigfoot, I'll be honest, I'm kind of happy that Apple didn't buy ARM either. I'd rather ARM just not be owned by one of the big tech companies. I'd rather them be able to function without that. Nvidia would absolutely abuse that position. They really would. And I think Apple would as well. Because both companies are very kind of insular and closed. They don't want to share technology.
I'm so much quicker than the guy in front through there. But I can't really do anything.
It's fine. When we pit, we'll drop back 10 places anyway, so don't worry.
True.